What's up, family? This is Jay Lamb coming to you from California. Super excited. This week has been phenomenal, and it's just getting better and better and better. I wanted to share something with you. I saw a video a couple days ago by Alicia Keys talking about the refugee situation around the world, and I'm going to link it at the bottom so that you can see it. But it got me to thinking about how us as believers, many times in my tradition, I'll put it that way, we do church and we do church well. We have protocol down. We have all of these things that we know how to shout, we know how to dance, we know how to lift our hands, we know how to do church, we know how to put on programs and events and all that kind of stuff. But what are we doing to really affect our world? What are we doing to get outside of the four walls? I know that sounds real cliche, but what are we doing to get out of our circle? Because we own our church world, but we've been called to have dominion over the world. And so watching this film that she put together really got me thinking about the story in the Bible about the Good Samaritan, about the guy that gets robbed and beaten and left for half dead. And then the ministers, the Levite, the priest, they come by, but they pass by on the other side. And here comes this Samaritan coming and picks him up and dresses his wounds and all of those things, and then puts him up in an inn and tells the innkeeper, listen, whatever he needs, take care of it and I'll reimburse you when I get back. And the thing about the Good Samaritan, when I've heard it preached in church, it talks about, loving your neighbor and things like that. But one of the things that I think about with the Good Samaritan was that he had skills. He knew how to dress the wounds. He knew how to get this guy from almost being dead to nursing him to health. And he was concerned about this guy's life. He didn't ask him like, well, what'd you do? What church do you belong to? Or to determine whether he should help him or not. There was something on the inside of the Good Samaritan that said, this human is in trouble and I need to pick him up and do what I can to bring him back to life. And my concern is that we're doing a lot of shouting and dancing and receiving prophetic words and all of these things. But what are we doing to bring our world back to life? A whole nother conversation is, what are we doing to bring the church back to life? And I guess that's what I'm trying to do here in this video, is that we are the church collectively, but we've been kind of regulated to a corner, and the world is saying, stay there, do what you do, we won't bother you too much, but don't come outside of the lines. When in reality, God said, I've given you the world to subdue it, to have dominion, and all of these things. And so I'm asking you and us, me included, to let's come out the closet and take our rightful place. Let's take over our cities again, and not from just a power perspective, but nursing humanity back to life. We need to have skills so that we have an entry point into those places. And there's a lot of hurting people around us. There's people that are hungry, going to bed hungry every day. There are people that are struggling, they don't have enough clothes. There are people that are battling sickness and disease. There are people that have all kinds of things going on in their life, and we look at them and they're like, ain't that a shame? But the thing is that you are the problem solver. You have been created to bring solution to humanity's problems. And Jesus Christ gave you the authority and the power to make a difference. And so I want to encourage you. Some of you, we need to know how to do first aid, CPR. We need to know how to grow our own foods. We need to know how to eat healthy. We need to know how to get into the lives of people and bring solution. That what if we did have a crisis here? What skills do we have beyond prayer, beyond a prophetic word, to help humanity? Let's be the church. This is Reign Life, and you need to know that you're not just a survivor. You have been called to reign. You have dominion. And part of the reason, let me say this, I know it's a little long, but part of the reason why the anointing and the power of God and the resources of God are not flowing as much as you're asking him to is because you're you're so concerned about yourself. We keep using our resources for ourselves instead of using those resources to touch humanity. And so I want to encourage you, let's begin to touch humanity. Take a class, not just to learn skills, but to get to know people. Many of us, our world, our relationships are very small. Or we go to work and we don't like our coworkers and they get on our nerves and all this kind of stuff. And you don't realize that your workplace, in a sense, because I don't want you going to work preaching, but in a sense, it is giving you access into people's world that they don't have control over their own life. And that's why they're insecure, they're flighty, they're moody, all of that kind of stuff, because there's some things going on in their world outside of work that you have the solution to. But if you're just going to have the same attitude with them because they're having a bad day, then you're not going to be able to really get in and minister the way God has called you. You know, many of you have a calling on your life, but what we want to do is we want to proclaim it instead of getting in the trenches with people and touching humanity. And so I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Leave your comments below. Follow us. Let's be the church. Let's be who God's called us to be. You were born to reign. Peace.